welcome to Flooring Models Kit Review time. Today we've got MiniArt 1/35 scale. This is the T-54-1 Soviet medium tank with the full interior. And the first thing you notice about this is it is heavy. This box is really heavy and it's not a thick box either. So you just know that this actual box is round. It feels solid and it feels like it's full of plastic, and it's the first thing that actually hits you on this particular one. So a quick look round on the box, we can see it says up here that unassembled Macapolyc kit. We know it's a toy, contains everything else. It's got 105 photo etch parts, 14 clear parts, 934 plastic parts, and a decal sheet is included. Very nice. Okay, kit number for this one, 37003. Okay, to be honest, we don't have much down on there. We got a bit there, and we got some sort of render pictures on the side there, just like that. This one is sealed, absolutely sealed up. So we can tell we haven't been in this particular one before. Okay. So a quick look in the sealed box. Something we don't get in the UK. I must admit, I know the US tends to have sealed boxes, but in the UK it is definitely something we don't do, which is a bit odd. But again, it's a lovely box and it feels very, very solid. If I can get it out. It's like an iPhone release. There we go. Okay, so the kit itself is absolutely round. Just looking straight here in the box, you can see it is absolutely stuffed. Okay, so we've got in different packs. That gives you an idea of what we've got in here. Look at that, that's absolutely beautifully done. I don't like the idea of it all being in one jumbo bag, but I must admit, appreciate the packaging. That's very, very clever, very solid. Right, let's pop that over there and have a look in here first. Very nice manual. In fact, it's so nice. I think we have to move the camera out just a touch to get it all in. There we go. Okay, very nice colour, almost magazine style manual for this one. Really, really nice. So you've got a couple of bits running around it down in here, a couple of the call outs, as you can imagine. Quite nice down on here. We've got colour call outs obviously in MIG, in Humbrol, in Mr. Colour, testers and Vallejo, and a couple of things in Russian as well by the looks of it. So that's very nice as well. Usual thing, we've got the parts call out. We know there's different versions of this coming down the line, so we've got different flavours of sprues, so obviously greyed out areas is stuff that isn't applicable to our build. Okay, again, right the way through on the other side, we can see all of the parts down on here, working our way around. Straight off, we're into the engine. So as you can see down here, very comprehensive engine build with all the different parts going down on there, the framework for it, and all the hoses and all the bits you'd expect. Okay, torsion bar suspension system right the way through this one as well, going right the way through. We've got the bottom plates going down in there, and we can tell just by the layout how this is going to build up. It's going to be quite in depth to put all this one together. So putting all of those through, all the actual suspension and the running gear down underneath, and then right the way down into here. Looks like we've got a shell in there already. We've got some bottles going down in there. All the different areas. Quite complex actually, the way this actually goes in there. Looks like we've got an emergency hatch maybe. I don't think so, but some type of hatch system down the back as well. And then still continuing down there. We're making our way up then with some of the actual driver's equipment. Okay. And making your way across, so then we're starting getting some of the bulkheads going down in there as well, the driver's seat being putted in, we've got the gearbox down there and everything else, and then working on the sidewalls again, running gear and the stowage items and engineering and equipment as you'd expect. Okay, and then down on the other side, as you can see, right the way through those as well, and then the racks going up, opening up the holes. Nice little guide to show you about that one as well, for what holes you're opening up. And then continuing down, we've got the ammunition storage racks being put in there, and then obviously you've got the shells. Looks like they're a separate fit, as they will fit in there as well, which is a nice touch. Running right the way through, and then the engine being fitted down into that one going in there, and then more shells being fitted to the walls, giving you this sort of tearing up process as it makes its way right the way through. Then we've got obviously more of the parts being fitted down into there, the cooling system being fitted in, the flywheels, drive wheels and all the rest of it, the road wheels all being fitted in. Okay, and then still making your way around literally to get this lower compartment put in there as well. Some of the upper plates going on at last, being putting those into there, as you can see, and then we've got hatches and covers for the actual engine sit itself. Beautiful way the engine sits in there like that, really like that. And then coming through, okay, all the time. Some grill work, some photo etch work being put on there. Your traditional sort of fuel slung tanks off the rear, and then making your way down. Say, got more equipment onto the stowage, onto the side. We got the gun going being fitted for the top, okay, and then, or is that the coax? Is that the coaxial gun? Could be the coaxial gun. Two of those. Okay, so those being done as well, and then working your way right the way down on the sides. All more stowage items being put on there. We've got the roll log. Very nice. Lots of stuff. Nice little photo etch as well, just like, for instance, photo etch down on the mud guard, but it's on the inside of the mud guard. Okay. So the gun ports are really interesting on this, and it's something I didn't realise with the tank. The gun ports actually go on the sides, and that's what they are. So that's why you get the two guns on there that fitted in. So obviously, instead of having a coaxial gun, probably got one as well on the turret, you've also got them on the actual body as well. Very nice touch. Okay, so same on the other side, and then working our way through onto the top areas. We've got the track system. I don't know if these are linkable or how they're going to work. I'll have a look at those in a moment. Okay, and then obviously working your way through, putting all the stowage items in, and then it's up into the turret itself, and then obviously from the inside out, all the boxes, communication gear, no doubt, and the other thing, more ammo racks being fitted in there, all the sort of gunners controls and commander controls being fitted in. As you can see, very, very detailed right the way through this one. Absolutely beautiful work. Tons and tons of stuff going down into this one. Very, very nice indeed. Okay, and again, we've got the gun on the top, the sort of Dusker gun down on there. Very nice indeed. We've got another coaxial gun. There is a coaxial gun being fitted down into this one as well. You can never have enough machine guns. Okay, and then the main gun barrel being fitted onto that one. And then in there, really nice turret as well. It's like a sandwich turret on this particular one. Very nice indeed. A couple more stowage things. We got some big tarps for the rear being fitted on there. Some more metal strapping to hold those on, which is very nice indeed. Okay, little bits of PE, tiny little bits of PE you can see at the top being fitted on there. Very nice indeed. Then you got your markings for this one. Very, very nice job as well. We've got the 50th anniversary year Soviet markings down there. One there with a little bit of winter work on that one. That's a very nice tank with a winter option. And we've got that sort of 3-tier Russian camo. Yeah, halfway through the 50s sort of colour as well. Very nice colour call-outs with that one right the way through. I have to say, I'm working currently as we're doing this, as I'm filming this, on the Takom King Tiger with full interior. This one, to be honest, looks even more in-depth. Okay, so we've got one giant sealed bag with everything in here. Nice big rustly bag. Okay, so let's pop that out of the way, and then down on here we might as well look at it as we've got it right off the bat. We've got the clear parts, so we've actually got all the lights and obviously the periscopes, things like that. Very much standard. We assume we've actually got the photo etch down in here as well. Sorry John, I'm going to have your kit apart. Decals, to be honest, as you can see, there's not much to it. That's literally it. We've just got some numbers that are going to go on the side. Okay, those clear parts, you might be able to see it. They're not too bad at all. Very nicely done on those. And then down in here, it feels just like our photo etch is going to be in here. If we get this guy out without a couple of sheets. So we've got some little parts. I'm going to blind you with the camera. There we go. Just like that. And we've got this one. It's covered in plastic as well, which is a nice touch. Stops it from bending right the way through. A lot of the strapping work and grill work, as you can see. Some grab handles as well, so some nice stuff on that one. Very nice indeed. So there, just the two. Pop that back in there. Keep that as flat as possible. Okay, so that's those. Right. Now, I know some people have mentioned in the past that MiniArt tends to be a little bit but actually, recently, MiniArt seem to, in my opinion, really stepped up their game. They've got up some really nice parts and some really nice gear. And just the way that they're moulding and textures and everything else like that have really stepped up the game. One of the biggest things we like about these is, we just drop that top cam down just a little bit more, there we go, is the actual sprue gates. They're a lot smaller, a lot sharper than used to be. The plastic is always quite soft, and you can hear it when you drop it. It's a soft plastic on these, but it does lend itself very nicely because the parts tend to be a little bit more durable because there's a little bit more flex in them. Okay, so generally, as you can see, really very nice. Ejector pin wise, like for instance inside this turret, we haven't got any, which is a very nice touch down in there. And in fact, yeah, ejector pin marks, they are around, but they are very small, very discreet, not as heavy. They're not perfect, and there's some which we'll point out in a moment, but generally I think they're pretty good. So as you can see, casting on the turret, very nicely done indeed. No problem with that. Hopefully you can see the mould, the casting marks as it would be, okay, on this. Taking their time to get that right, that flat sort of look to it, which will then all transfer through your paintwork and everything else. But generally, if we have a slower look around the parts, no problem at all. Actually pretty nice on all of these. Okay, and again, you're just looking at things like bulkheads and various things on this. They all look very nice indeed. No real problem with that at all. Okay, so, and again, just the handles and lumps and bumps and all the different bits and pieces, very good. Okay, and again, sprue gates, nice and tight, clean, precise. Even with these smaller parts, the way they're being held in, okay, some of them are a little bit, you know, like this guy up here, where the hell did you start? But rest of them, very nice indeed. Now, we're saying in note perfection, we've got raised ejector pin down there, and obviously this is a flat part that's going to go down. You're going to have to sand things like that out, so you're going to want to keep an eye on that. But I'll be honest with you, I've had trouble with that with Tackham this time as well, so it's not that, you know, we're picking holes in here, but the way that they've got around, and we don't have ejector pins inside like arches and on handles and you know, and various things, is really nice touch. Got tiny little ones just down in that corner just to help it come out, but it's very flat. It's not very pronounced at all, so it'd be quite easy to get that one out. But generally, I have to say, I'm impressed. I just like this. The ring, it's nicely done. The bolts are nice and sharp and concise and everything else like that. So actually, that's a very nice touch indeed. Okay, then working around all of these, as I said, there's lots of it, so we won't sort of spend too much time running around a lot of this. But generally, if you look on this guy as well, you can see all the smaller parts very nicely done. These weapon racks, there's tiny little bits of flash around, like just down in that little hole there, it stands out. But generally, I must admit, the rest of it is all pretty good indeed. Okay, all of the smaller parts, nicely done. I can't really see any sinks. One piece solid barrel. This barrel is actually solid. Okay, so you're going to have a little bit of burring job, but to be honest, it's an easy job on that one. So it's a nice job on this barrel at all. And that is the end. It's slightly hollowed out. You could easily drop a drill bit down in there and open that a bit deeper perhaps to give it a bit more room. But again, just these guys here, just be mindful of these. You know, they're just slightly raised. So if it's a flash part going on there, you might want to just take care of it. Nice little just raised ejector pins. Again, just keep an eye, test fit. But this type of thing is what I'm finding on Tackham. You've got these ejector pins here and they've got little skins on the side of them and they're interfering with seams. So if you don't spot one and you get like a gap, you take it out and you spot it and it's all right. A couple of swipes with the sanding sticks, taken care of and job done. But generally, as you can see, really nice on all of these. Very good indeed. So some nice level of detail to all of those. We've got some work down here with the engine. Which is a nice touch, as you can see. Okay, and then just generally having a bit of a scoot around it. Hopefully you can see the detail is all there. It's very nice. Again, this comes back to, we were discussing it on the Flooring Models forum and saying how in the past some of their kits were really bad, you know, and had problems all the way through. But generally how now, like I said, they seem to have stepped up their game, really done a lot of work to sort of make their kits come to life and flourish. But just generally, you know, some of this detail work down in here, the bolts are absolutely beautifully done, very nicely done. And again, it has that look of casting on it, which is obviously, being Russian is something you'd be looking for with their stuff. But the grills, the louver doors, they're all clean, precise. got a tiny little bit of flash around on things, but generally no problem at all. And sometimes with this softer type of plastic, you have to watch for sink marks, because obviously they kick it out the actual mould a little bit too quick. You have got, you know, tiny little ejector pins just down in here, which are a little bit of a pain, but no problem at all. But just the way this has been put on, just careful how you're taking it off, snipping it with a good pair of sharp snips, you'll be absolutely fine. But all these, so these little parts, beautifully done, very nicely cast down onto this. Very good indeed, I must admit. I'm impressed. It's one of those things where you set it out in your mind's eye how you think it's going to be, and then you get it come along and you think, yeah, actually that's pretty good. Again, another absolutely loaded sprue with it all down on here. Very nicely done indeed. Okay, we're going to take a closer look. You can see the roll, we've got the moulded in lines, all the parts. You know, generally very, very hard to find a fault on this, like just the bolt detail and the texture of the casting around this sort of mantle. It's very, very nicely done as well, and just the casting on the gun mantle there, really very, very good indeed. It has that real nice texture to it, that hard chunkiness, solid look to the plastic, which then obviously transfer all the way through your paintwork and everything else like that. So again, really very, very nice indeed. And again, I can see no real problems with any of the sprues at all. They look very nicely done. Okay, bag 2, as you can see, absolutely loaded again. Ready to begin. Tons and tons of it. So, okay, we got drive sprockets, some of the wheel gear, and the details as you can see it on that. Again, absolutely solid, very nicely done, loaded sprue. No problem with that. That's really very, very nice. Okay, we've got some tow cables, a couple of tow cables down like that. Again, nicely done on their own sprue. But even just the texture of the cabling, the actual twistedness of it is very, don't know if you can hear it, very nice, clean and sharp. Done. Now in here I suppose we've got loads of types of road wheels. A funny way of moulding it on these little separate sprues, sprue HK as this one is known, but you can see again the level of detail, very, very nice, very good indeed, both sides, very nice, even on this inside. Now the Russian stuff sometimes tends to be quite clunky, and it's sort of transferring through very nicely on the mould that it is like that. Now to be honest, we've got lots of these, so we're just gonna hopefully pop some away because we've got so many of the same. Let me just get rid of those, because obviously you've got multiples and multiples and multiples of these wheels, so I'll just put them out of the way. Okay, then again we're going to get multiples of these. So down here we've got a little shell, and obviously we've got the gear, but again the bolts, the detailing all the way around. Just this piece here, piece number 1, you've got a little tiny bit of and the numbering actually on the part, as you can see, but it's all textured as if it's actually cast molded, you know. So that's really, really very, very nice touch with that. So we get a couple of those. Okay, then we've obviously got lots of this down here for the gear. We've got some very small bolts, some very nice detailing down on all of this. Really very nice indeed. So we've got 4 of those. Trying to keep up with all this stuff. Okay, so that's more wheels and various things. We've already seen one of those. Okay, so this one down in here, again, looks like we've got the barrel, the fuel tank at the back, look, and the various hatches and latches and all the things, the tow eyes, the tow cleats and things. Very nicely done as well. Beautifully done. Again, it's one of those things where sometimes it's nice when a kit comes along and sort of surprises you by the quality. Okay, so down in here we've got some, these are firefighting bottles, systems on there. Okay, very nice indeed. Some of the radio equipment, okay, it's a little bit generic, but I think it's obviously what it is, so that's fine, no problem with that at all. Clean, crisp, precise. And again, it's one of these things, you'd buy this kit and probably not realise quite how much you've got down in here. So again, some more of the smaller details. Looks like we've got some seating. A little bit of flash down on this guy down on here, you can probably see it, but the rest of it is all very nicely done indeed. Tiny little bit of burring perhaps on this particular sprue, but I think that's pretty good, all of that. Okay, so we've got various things. These are going to be tools and cleats and all the stuff which are going to be for the stowage items on the side. So we've got multiple sprues of that. I think we've got like 4 sprues of that. Okay. Shells. Again, we're going to get lots of shells, as you can imagine. So very nice. Actually pretty good on that. Some nice detail. No problem with that at all. Okay. We've got lots of these little sprues. Okay, so we've got more little guys just down on these. Nicely done. Okay, as you say, it's the kit that keeps giving. We've got 2 sprues of this one, which is K. And then hopefully you can see some nice, got the idler wheel, various details, all pretty good on all of these. Again, no real signs of any type of flash or sink marks anywhere on this kit. Just a couple of bits and pieces here and there, but you can forgive it like that. There's not a general pattern forming where it's got it all over it. Okay, more shells and things, we looked at that earlier. Okay, we've got some of the mounting stick gear, no doubt here, looking very nice indeed. Again, tiny little bit of flash here, there on the side of that seat, but I wouldn't even call that flash because it's just one little bit. Okay, it's when it's all over the place you can go. We've got the gun, got the big sort of Dusker on the top. Very nice indeed. More small bits, so we've got some more shells. I think this is more of the mounting things, maybe for the guns. More shells. Got a little ammo box down on here. It's a beautiful little touch. It's actually got the star on the side of the ammo box, which is obviously going to be the one for the top gun for the Dusker, I presume. Very nicely done. Again, it's quite complex for what it is. It's just an ammo can, but it's got some very nice level of details to it. Another shell. Another ammo can, so we've got a couple of ammo cans for that one. Some more little grab handles, some more of those parts we saw earlier. That's the same. And then under here, we've actually got the floor. As you can see, again, really nice beaded weld right the way running down here. Very nice again at the back. Just the way this is molded and the texture, really do like it. It's going to be quite a complex kit. This is definitely not one for the beginner, but it is very, very nice indeed. Okay, and then looking on the inside, we have got the odd little ejector pin, but it'd be interesting to see how much is actually seen right the way down in the depths of the guts of this. But that's not too bad at all. And then generally, just running our way down it, some of the more other parts. The grill work on here with the bolts again, beautifully detailed, very, very nice indeed. And then we've got the hatches and all the parts, really very, very nice indeed. All of that. Now that will go there to hold that, and I'm hoping we can get this out, which I think is the last bag. It's definitely a thing where the armour guys are getting definitely more of a bargain than I think the aircraft guys at the moment. Okay, so we've got G. This is G down in here, as you can see. Some nice little touches right the way along G, including little crew guns as well. Various things. Very nicely done. There's even texture on the inside under here. Okay, I don't know the part at all, so forgive me, but just the bolts down under here, they're very sharp, they're nice, very nicely detailed, all of that, no problem with that at all. Okay, and then next one we've got the engine, so we've got the top of that engine down there, and then obviously more engine parts, as you can imagine, working your way along. That's all very nice indeed. Okay. Well, this is going to go back together, and we got the track, which I don't think is going to be workable. No, this isn't going to be workable, I don't think, unless I'm missing the point, but I think it's just going to be tabbed over tabbed. But as you can see, nice design. Obviously, the great thing with armour is at any point you can just upgrade and go down for a set of frill tracks or something else like that and stick some metal ones on it and away you go. But if you do want to go down the actual kit part route, nothing wrong with these. Clean, sharp, no problem with the moulding at all with that whatsoever. Obviously you don't have to worry about any rubber road pads or anything else like that. Straightforward metal on metal. Okay, so that's those. So you've got literally, as you can see, tons of those down in there. And then the last two up down in here, is that the commander's type hatch part up there maybe? The various parts on there, forgive me, I don't know. Okay. And last, just some more parts, generic, some hatches. Even the little handles are very nicely done, clean, smooth, precise. Again, very, very little cleanup on this kit at all. Absolutely fantastic. And there we go, that is it. Again, this is what I'm saying. It's lovely to be able to see these days that the armour guys, instead of having to go down that thing, and don't get me wrong, I know a lot of guys do it, you buy a kit, and you go along and you buy a Tamiya, whatever, Panther, then you go out and buy the interior for it and go down the aftermarket route and the metal and all the rest of it, and you end up with, I must admit, absolutely beautiful, stunning models that anybody, you know, can see the amount of work and attention to detail they've put into it. But it is nice now for guys who don't perhaps want to go down the mixed media route and all the rest of it, have got an option just to buy a kit now with everything. So as I say, we've done reviews recently of Tiger 1s with obviously it full in there. We've got King Tigers on the go with full interiors in there. Now we've got this type of stuff. We've got the Russian, we've got the other Russian down there that was like the SU-85 down there as well, with all the interior as well. And it's beautiful to see that that has gone right up in that level, and it's still at an affordable price. It's not like they've come along and called it 150 quid kit and away you go because you've got the full interior. That's what's really nice about it. But then again, MiniArt, back in the day, yeah, MiniArt were a little bit of a horror story. Sync marks, flash, alignment problems. Nowadays though, they've really stepped up the game, really to come a long way in a very short time as well. So if you are thinking about MiniArt and thinking, oh, I remember that, trust me, their new modern kits and everything else like that, like their aircraft, are really head and shoulders against what they were doing even 10 years ago. So they are definitely worth having a look. So there we go, that is MiniArt's 1/35 scale T-54.